Hey, welcome back to Living in Minnesota. My name is Joe Carmack, and normally on this channel, I talk about moving to Minnesota and all the great things about our state of why you should. However, in this video, we're gonna do the exact opposite. So I'm gonna give you 5 different reasons why Minnesota might not be the right fit for you to call home. Hey, if we haven't met, my name is Joe Carmack. I'm a local real estate agent, so I would love to help with your move. If you have any questions, feel free to find all my contact info in the description down below. You can also grab my home buyer's guide down there, which is a great little PDF that you can download. And then, of course, make sure to subscribe because I put out monthly market updates every single month, and you're not going to want to miss them. All right, top 5 reasons why you may not want to move to Minnesota. Number 1, if you're a weather weenie. Now, I'm going to affectionately name each one of these, but let's talk about the weather. So, Minnesota's weather, I think, have gotten a little bit more of a bad rap than they deserve. In news and media, in movies and stuff. Every time the Midwest is portrayed, it's just like this massive winter storm, a blizzard, and everything shutting down.
Those states of emergency already, this massive winter storm threatening more than 130 million Americans.
That's not really the case. I mean, it's kind of blown out of proportion. Yes, we definitely have some strong winters in Minnesota, but what I really like about the state is that we've really got 4 distinct seasons, and so it's hot in the summer, it's wonderful in the spring and fall, and then our winters are definitely cold. So what do you actually want to expect? For the Midwest, there's definitely snow. It'll usually start maybe around Halloween time, and then it'll be here through, April, give or take. So it's not going to be, a huge 1-foot snowstorm. We rarely get those. It's going to be a lot more of every week or two, we get 3 or 4 inches of snow. It is going to stick around because it doesn't just melt off. It is obviously going to be kind of cold. So that'll stick and just kind of accumulate from, October through April, but it's not going to be one massive snowstorm or multiple massive snowstorms all the time. We do have the infrastructure to handle that snow too, though. So, the Department of Transportation will come through. They've got a whole bunch of these just huge dump trucks that have massive plows on the front. They got another big plow on the side, and then the back's full of salt. And so they just go through 5 of them in a row, cascade through, get all the snow off of the highways. They salt them as they go, so then everything melts. So we can handle it pretty well. This isn't like Florida where you guys get a little, dusting of snow and the power grid goes down. With the winter, sports and everything, you can get out, you can do some ice skating on lakes around Minnesota. You can find lots of fun things to do. You can go ice fishing. There's plenty of stuff to do outside. So if you are really sensitive to temperatures, then obviously the Midwest is just not going to be a good fit for you. But if you're somebody that really appreciates to have 4 seasons and be able to get outside and do lots of outdoors activities, then Minnesota could be a great place to go. Number 2, terrified Timmies are probably not going to be a good fit to moving to Minnesota. Now, the reason is going to be this is a major metropolitan area. I mean, when there's a lot of people congested into a smaller area, naturally just the number of crimes that happen will be higher. So if you're coming from rural Nebraska or somewhere that's just got zero crime, everybody keeps their doors unlocked, everybody knows each other, and if there's something that happens, we all know who did it. This is obviously not that case. So if you're from a very rural area, just be aware that there's going to be more crime in any major city. We have been in the news obviously recently for George Floyd and a number of different things like that. If you've got concerns, I would just tell you to go to the police department's websites. You can pull up and see exactly what crimes are happening around the Twin Cities, what types of crimes are happening, how often they're happening, and then you can make the decision to decide where you feel most comfortable living in. I will say, I think when major events like that happen, there can be one bad apple who does one really bad thing, like with George Floyd, and the perception can be for the rest of the country that, oh gosh, all the police are racist and there's extreme crime everywhere and the city's burning down. I think that really skews things, that really taints it to the reality of we have a really great city, we've got a ton of great people, things happen anywhere. That situation needs to get fixed, but I don't want people that are thinking about moving to the Minneapolis area to just see that as all they think of when they think of Minneapolis, because I think it's a very skewed number. So again, you can go to the crime maps. You can see online from the police department's websites and different sites exactly what crimes are happening where. And if you are somebody that's really conscious of wanting to be a really, really safe neighborhood, then just consider more of those rural areas. The further you get out, the less people there are. Statistically, the fewer crime is going to be happening. Number 3 person that shouldn't move to the Twin Cities is going to be Penny Pincher Patty. Now, this is my affectionate way of saying if you're from an area, again, where the cost of living is incredibly low. I've had people moving here, that are looking for a $100,000 mobile home. You can find options like that are very inexpensive, but you just need to know our median sales price around the Twin Cities is about $380,000. So that's kind of for a middle of the road house. We can find you options that are less. If we're going down from that, it's obviously going to be less house. I mean, you're not going to have new construction for under those price points. You're not going to be in kind of one of the most desirable areas potentially. But then you can also go up from there too. So if you're coming from Los Angeles, for example, you might be used to $300,000 getting you like a lot, and so you come here and you can actually get a pretty decent house for $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. So it's really just a matter of where you're coming from. I just want people to be aware what our average price points are around here. As well, of course, the higher demand areas are going to have a higher sale price. So if you need to get that lower sale price, if you are a penny pinching Patty, as I affectionately refer to it, just look a little bit further out. We can push you into some further metro areas. You could potentially even get a townhouse as an entry point, keep that for a couple of years, sell it, make some money potentially, and then move up from there. So we do have options. Just be aware this is not, again, rural Nebraska. Number 4, if you are a racist Randy, you definitely don't want to move to the Twin Cities. And the reason is we've got really great diversity around the whole state, but especially in the Twin Cities metro. So I look up our stats on worldpopulationreview.com, which is a really cool website. You can go see a breakdown of cultural diversity, economic diversity, and political diversity. They gave the state of Minnesota a 28 out of 50 rating for being the most culturally diverse, which basically we're right in the middle, but that's the entire state. So if you're looking in the Twin Cities, I would definitely say it's going to be higher than that. Overall. Around the Twin Cities, you're going to see a lot of different things. I know we've got a Russian history museum. We've got a big Hmong population. We've got a ton of Somali population that lives here. Religiously, we're actually ranked really high as far as religious diversity. And so all different types of faith backgrounds can kind of meld here. Our LGBTQ plus community is very much thriving here. And so really kind of whatever walk of life you are, there's probably going to be some area that you feel comfortable in. It's most of the Twin Cities area. And if you're from, a minority group, people of color, anything like that, just know that looking closer to the Twin Cities is going to give you more of that diversity than in rural areas, just like the rest of the country. Fifth people group that aren't going to want to move to the Twin Cities is going to be a radical Rita. Now I'm talking about politics. This is going to be someone who's really extreme on one end of the spectrum of the other. You probably aren't going to feel real at home in the Twin Cities. The reason I say that is we're given a diversity rating on our politics pretty much right in the middle. So we're not extremely left or right leaning generally. In the Twin Cities metro, it's generally a little bit more liberal. Out in the rural areas is more conservative. So you can decide where you'd like to live in that sense. But overall, there's definitely a sense of kind of, you do your thing, I'm going to do my thing, my family votes this way, and you can vote however you want to. So we're pretty accepting, I think, in that sense. It's a little bit of that Minnesota nice, like passive aggressive thing. But we definitely speak up as well when there's injustices like you guys have been seeing in the news. I mean, we definitely can get amped up about, creating a better city for ourselves. People are definitely, it's not that they're not politically minded, but I think people are just more accepting of you doing your thing and I'm doing my thing, and we can still live at peace. So whatever end of the spectrums you are on politically, I think you're gonna be just fine as long as you're not the real extreme type. That won't fit in very well in Minnesota. Now that you know 5 different reasons why you may not want to move to Minnesota, there's a ton of great things about the Twin Cities that you'll love. So make sure, go to my channel afterwards. You're gonna find a whole playlist where you can get to know the different Twin Cities suburbs. You can see some of my favorite cities that I'll take you on a tour on. And then of course, there's all kinds of different market news and information about buying or selling. So make sure to subscribe. I appreciate you for watching, and I'll see you next time.